The Christkindlmarkt is one of the oldest Christmas markets in Germany. Its origin can be tracked back to the middle of the 16th century. In 1737, the market had been so important that every Nurembergian craftsman made a point to be represented in the so-called town of wood and cloth. At the end of the 19th century, the market lost its importance for a brief time, until it flourished again throughout the 30s of the 20th century. Then the Second World War came, and it would take the Christkindlmarkt until 1948 to reopen amidst the completely destroyed Old Town Center. At first it had been actors miming the Christ child, but since 1969, young Nuremberg girls between the age of 16 and 19 are elected as Christ child. Today, the Nuremberg Christkindlmarkt is Germany's most famous Christmas market and a crowd puller for people all over the world. The Nuremberg Christ child always declares her market open on the Friday before the first Advent at 5:30 p.m. with a festive prologue. Until noon of Christmas Eve, more than 2 million people visit the Christkindlmarkt. About 180 wooden booths decorated with red-white cloth give the Christkindlmarkt its nickname, Town of Wood and Cloth. The range of goods primarily is traditional, though a few sometimes not really appropriate modern products can be found too. Highly treasured and always on demand are the world-famous Nuremberg gingerbreads, called Lebkuchen, pastries and sweets, hot mulled wine, and the original Nuremberg roasted sausages. Of course, the typical Christmas items can be found everywhere too. There are differences. The ingredients every baker uses are his secret. The hit? It's the gingerbread. People are very fond of it. They come from all over the world. That's because the market here is so cozy with all those little booths. Many people come for the speech of the Christ child, held high up on the church balcony.
Die ihr einst Kinder wart, ihr Kleinen, am Beginn der Lebensfahrt, ein jeder, der sich heute freut und morgen wieder plagt, hört alle zu, was euch das Christkind sagt. In jedem Jahr, 4 Wochen vor der Zeit.
You men and women who once were children, you little ones at the beginning of life, everyone who is happy today and will worry again tomorrow, listen to what the Christ child has to say. Every year, 4 weeks before we decorate the Christmas tree, it is built upon this very place you see, in which our ancestors already knew, and is called the Christkindlmarkt. This little town made of wood and cloth so elusive seems, but for eternity it is. My market stays forever young, as long as Nuremberg and the spirit of the market lives.
Ist doch von Ewigkeit. Mein Markt bleibt immer jung, solange es Nürnberg gibt und die Erinnerung.
No, this is actually my third time.
My first time.
Her first time.
Yay.
How do you like it?
Love it. It's awesome.
Beautiful.
It's colorful. That was the first time I ever had it.
Really?
I didn't know they did that. Yeah, you guys did that.
Yeah, I don't have Glühwein back home in New Jersey. I didn't bring any back home. I've been to the Würzburg, Weihnachtsmarkt, and the Regensburg. This one's just very people oriented. You know, it's huge. You know, it's big and it's beautiful. And it's just like there's so much cool things about it.
We are small craft producers, specializing in gingerbread for over 30 years now, summer as winter. Almonds, hazelnut, candied lemon peel, candied orange peel, marzipan, honey, and special spices. That's what's in. We use fresh egg white as binder, thus our gingerbread is always fluffy and juicy. The most beautiful thing here is the atmosphere, the people, all those tiny bits put together. It's always superb. The people are in a better mood when snow's falling. They just stand there saying, "Ah, snow," like little kids. I really like that. I really hope that all those people, whether from Nuremberg or from far away, will enjoy it here and have many wonderful hours here. Furthermore, I hope that you are happy with me and my market, and that you are as glad to be here as I am glad that all of you are here today. I simply wish you a great time with your family, your friends, with whomsoever. I also wish you a merry Advent season, a magnificent Christmas Eve, and a happy New Year, though there are still some days for it to pass.
Sie im Kreise der Familie, im Kreise von Freunden oder sei es auch immer mit wem wir verbringen können. Und ich wünsche Ihnen außerdem eine wunderschöne Adventszeit, ein schönes Weihnachtsfest und fürs nächste Jahr, auch wenn es noch ein bisschen hin ist, schon mal alles erdenklich Gute.
And now, a little angel would like to speak to you. Saint Nicholas, also known as Santa Claus. Once upon a time there lived a good bishop, Santa Claus. He was so good, he was so nice, and all the children knew him. Today he still walks from house to house, from child to child, as it was in the early days. Good old Saint Nick.
Bischof Nikolaus.
I am the Bishop Nicholas, Santa Claus, sent from heaven's house.
Josephine. Josephine. So. Was möchtest du euch jetzt zu Weihnachten?
Hier, vielleicht ist was. Sehr kann sicher ins Bild.
Ah, wie wird das Bild heißen? Der Rico wird es. Ach, und was willst du denn tun? Auch ein Bild. Dann macht er gleich ein Pony hoch auf.
Ja, das ist schön. Ja, die möchte ich dann nehmen für die Kinder, ne? Prima.
Next to the gingerbread, the so-called Nürnberg Zwetschgenmännle, little figures made of nuts and prunes, are especially famous souvenirs from the Nürnberg Christkindlmarkt. This is a very old story. Its tradition goes back more than 300 years. It's written in the lore that once there lived an old blacksmith all by himself. Next to his smithy, he grew some fruit trees. One day the old man got sick, so the children in his neighborhood took care of him. They looked after him, they brought him food, and they fed him. After the blacksmith had recovered, he was so grateful that he decided to make little dolls out of dry prunes and some wire he had in his smithy. And that's where the tradition of the prune figures started. They have various designs, but they are all handmade. I've got customers who proudly tell me that they have their prune doll already for 30 years, and sometimes even longer. The marzipan we have here only in the winter season. It's not available in the other seasons. I have to say that I'm really looking forward to being here every year, and that it's always a great pleasure for me.
Merry Christmas! I'm Miriam. This is Liz. Merry Christmas.
Singapore or Australia, those are the most faraway places our customers come from. It's great, and we are happy about all those people visiting our Christkindlmarkt. Normally, mulled wine is made of red wine, but the huckleberry wine is made of huckleberries and tastes sweeter.
Die Geschichte, die ich euch heute schenken möchte, heißt Versöhnung zu Weihnachten.
The story I want to tell you is called Conciliation in Christmas Time. Christmas Eve is approaching, says the chief of the dwarves, and scratches his beard. And we still argue with the little witches, which is by no means good at all. Why isn't it good? Asks Green Hat, the youngest of the dwarves. He was only 100 years old. Because everybody shall adorn throughout Yuletide, no matter if dwarves, witches, animals, elves, men, or giants. When at Christmas time you see a tree in the woods with many, many lights on it, then you will know that the dwarves and little witches celebrate Christmas Eve together.
Hexen, ob Tiere oder Elfen, ob Mensch oder Riese. Und wenn ihr zu Weihnachten in den Wald kommt und an einem Baum viele, viele Lichter seht, wisst ihr, dass die kleinen Hexen und die Zwerge wieder miteinander feiern.
And now I have a surprise for you. How about you getting quickly dressed? Take your winter coats and caps, and together we go to the big carousel at the Christmas market.
Mitnehmen und wir gehen rüber aufs große Karussell nach der Kinderweihnacht und fahren mal zusammen.
We are from Groningen, which is in the Netherlands. The atmosphere is great and very happy. The mulled wine is very delicious. We don't know such a thing in the Netherlands, and we also hardly have this phenomenon of Christmas markets. When I am in Germany during Christmas time, I enjoy a couple of glasses of mulled wine. It always tastes very good. The famous Nuremberg roasted sausages go back in history a long time. The locals prefer the larger pears called Franconians. For the visitors, the Nürnberger, as they are called, are as much an attraction as the city itself. I think it's really great that here in Franconia we have a variety of sausages you don't find anywhere else in Germany. Yeah, I moved here, and so I have to visit the Christkindlmarkt. You just have to visit it at least once a year. There are many varieties of gingerbread. We have the regular gingerbread on a wafer. We have the so-called Elisen gingerbread. Then we have a kind of white gingerbread, which isn't as sweet as the others. It is baked with oatmeal and egg white, and that's why it is called white gingerbread. Then there is the Elisen gingerbread, with flour and so on. I sell Schrittbergen, nutcrackers, Jossmen, and Christmas ornaments, which sell best. Personally, I prefer a traditional German Christmas tree. For me, traditional means Christmas ornaments made of wood. The locals don't buy that much. I say the Italians are very good customers, and of course, the Americans. All you men and women who once were children, be it again today. Be happy in their way. To its market the Christ child invites. And whoever comes is welcome. Christmas without gingerbread. Unimaginable. Adepts say the best ones come from Nuremberg, a city rich in proud gingerbread tradition. There are different opinions about the origin of this exquisitely soft pastry. One say it originated in the Latin word libo, the flat cake. Others, however, say because of its form, the word Leb, the loaf, is the name's godfather. Since 1927, the name Nürnberger Lebkuchen is protected as mark of origin. That means that only those gingerbreads are allowed to carry the name or the picture of Nuremberg that are manufactured within the boundaries of the city of Nuremberg, as is true for the company Lebkuchen Schmidt. The mixture makes all the difference. First, the so-called little ingredients are weighed and mixed in preparation of the gingerbread compound. These are, among other spices, baking agents, salt, and whole egg powder. Then, water is added. Next added to this base are candied orange peels, marzipan, honey, and sugar syrup. Then follow flour, sugar and nuts, especially walnuts, hazelnuts, and almonds. The mass is stirred and whipped up in a kind of huge beater for about 1 minute. After a resting time of 30 minutes to 1 hour, the mass is ready to be filled into the gingerbread filling machine. The still raw gingerbreads are transported on a conveyor belt through an oven, in which they are baked for 8 minutes at 460 degrees Fahrenheit. Immediately afterwards, they are cooled down in a kind of cooling channel and transported to the chocolate glazing machine. Again, the gingerbreads will be cooled before they pass through an automatic quality control. Now the gingerbreads are ready to be packed for worldwide shipping. Amongst the many offered gingerbreads, whether single handmade or fabricated in the food factory, the adept especially treasures the so-called Elysian gingerbread. Since 1808, they are the Guild's true masterpieces. They have to contain at least 25% of nuts. The so-called Oblaten gingerbreads only have to contain about 13%. In the end, it is a matter of personal taste, however, which kind of gingerbread is served throughout the Christmas time. The locals eat them all year round. Welcome to Käthe Wohlfahrt in Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Here we stand in the German Christmas Museum. Just one floor downstairs from here, the year-round Christmas Village is located. It is renowned all over the world because here we exhibit Christmas all year long, and you have the opportunity to buy everything that is connected to the traditional German Christmas. We have an assortment of around 35,000 Christmas articles, permanently in store. Our selection varies, but we always carry the traditional stuff. Probably the most stunning time to visit the Christmas Village is during summer. Of course, it is amazing in winter too, but summer beats all. Slowly you tune yourself in to being surrounded by little angels and fir branches.
Ist, glaube ich, das Erlebnismoment, wenn man hier im Sommer hereinkommt. Auch natürlich im Winter, aber im Sommer ganz besonders. Denn so langsam freundet man sich mit dem Gedanken an, dass man auf einmal von Engeln und Tannenzweigen umrahmt ist. Und wenn man dann auf einer Empore steht, wo man dann in eine fränkische...
Standing on a gallery, you can have a good look down at a Franconian marketplace with snowy rooftops and a 5-meter-high Christmas tree, which is decorated with over 1,000 glass ornaments.
Belebender Moment und ein ganz großer Aha-Effekt, der bei den Kindern ganz große Augen hervorzaubert. Man kann, wenn man ins Weihnachtsdorf kommt, einen Rundgang beginnen. Zunächst vorbei an einer bewegten Steif.
Best is to start with a tour through the Christmas village. First you come along an animated stiff wall, which is supposed to relax the visitors and take their minds away from the pressure of hectic holiday schedules. There a variety of different kinds of angels follows.
Verschiedenste Formen von Engeln zeigt. In diesem Areal des Marktplatzes finden wir dann Abteile.
At the marketplace, there are sections showing nutcrackers or wooden Christmas tree decorations. Then you may go to the smoking men.
Dann geht es weiter zu den Räuchermännchen. Dann gibt es natürlich
And of course, the Yuletide pyramids in all colors, variations, and sizes. We have a little department with manger figures, one which offers Christmas tree decorations made with other materials like straw, brass, or tin. Of course, we have a quite huge department displaying glass Christmas tree decorations. And finally, we have an enormous assortment of Christmas tree ornaments.
ein sehr großes Sortiment, das wir hier bereithalten. Und auch für den Gast, der den Weihnachtstisch sich komplett schmücken möchte oder durch unsere Dekorationsvorschläge natürlich neugierig gemacht wird oder das zu Hause auch machen möchte, der kann sich auch bei uns Tischwäsche kaufen, Servietten, Kerzenhalter, also alles, was dazugehört.
The company Käthe Wohlfahrt has a history reaching back 40 years. The Christmas village just celebrated its 25th anniversary. It all started in 1963, when the family Wohlfahrt, coming from the Vogtland, found a new home in Stuttgart. The company's founder Wilhelm Wohlfahrt worked at a computer firm where he met Americans he invited to a traditional German Christmas Eve. Here they saw for the very first time goods from a region called Erzgebirge, the Ore Mountain, a music box. Mr. Wohlfahrt wanted to present such a music box to them, but first had to buy it after Christmas. From that moment on, a lasting relationship with the Americans developed, who said they'd like to have this type of thing year-round. Over the time, ever bigger quantity of those wonderful ornaments and wood articles could be sold. That was the situation when the company was founded. In 1977, the company moved to Rothenburg, and the first year-round Christmas corporation opened up. In Yuletide, the Christkindlmarkt is vis-a-vis to the Christmas village, adding to its attraction. The German Christmas Museum finally opened up in September 29, 2000. It has become a very important part of our Christmas potpourri. Because it's there, we tell the people how things started and how all those items originated. The articles gain a new value when people know their story. From a museum's point of view, it is very important to stick to traditions. Christmas Eve is a very important celebration in Christianity. The biggest problem was to find an appropriate date for the ecclesiastic ceremony, because actually no one knows the exact birth date of Jesus Christ. Thus, until the year 381, Christmas was sometimes celebrated and sometimes not. But in 381, the Emperor Theodosius laid down the law that the date should be the 25th of December. It always looks as if we Germans celebrate Christmas Eve on the 24th, but actually we only celebrate the evening before the real feast.
Erklärt für die künftigen Generationen. Ja, die weihnachtliche Feier geht natürlich einher mit der Christianisierung und das große Problem war es zunächst tatsächlich den Termin zu finden, wann denn dieses oder eines der zwei Hochfeste, Ostern ist ja das andere in der christlichen Kirche, wann denn Weihnachten tatsächlich gefeiert werden soll, da es ja keinen festgeschriebenen Termin der Geburt von Jesus Christus gibt. Und so muss man sagen, dass bis ins Jahr 381 ja dieser Termin wahlweise gefeiert oder nicht gefeiert worden ist. 381 hat Kaiser Theodosius per Dogma bestimmt, dass von nun an am 25. Dezember der Geburtstag von Jesus Christus sein soll. Und da haben wir schon das erste Aha-Erlebnis, denn in Deutschland sagen wir ja immer, wir feiern Weihnachten am 24. Aber man muss genau hinhören, wir feiern den Heiligen Abend. Also
Father Christmas, Santa Claus, is a quite recent addition but can be found in the museum too. 115 different ones we have here. In Germany, Father Christmas has its origin in the saga of Santa Claus.
Auch tatsächlich in Deutschland ausgehend von dem Nikolaus. Das Nikolausbrauchtum findet ja seinen Hochpunkt am 6.12., ist aber auch ganz stark auf den, ich sage jetzt mal, katholischen Glauben zurückzuführen. Der evangelische Glaube, der keine Heiligen kennt, der hat natürlich mit einer Alternativfigur aufwarten müssen, um die Beschenkung auch weiterhin wahrnehmen zu können.
The Protestant church under Martin Luther, which doesn't have saints, had to come up with an alternative figure to do the distribution of the presents to the children.
Der mit einem grünen, blauen oder gelben Gewand durch die verschneite Waldlandschaft oder Stadtlandschaft zog, um die Kinder zu beschenken. Und
this type of Father Christmas evolved here with characterists like Thomas Naas, who worked in America and pictured Father Christmas not in his straight and simple shape, but as a friendly old man with a big belly, a happy smile, and also a pipe in his mouth. Later influenced by Coca-Cola, Santa Claus got a red coat.
Auch schon lächelnd und mit einer Pfeife im Mund und dann später durch Coca-Cola beeinflusst, hat er das rote Gewand bekommen. Der Santa Claus, den wir aus Amerika
The Santa Claus we know from America, and who is foremostly pictured in the media, can be easily distinguished from the German Father Christmas, because he has a short coat with a big belt and a separate cap. He smiles all the time and only brings presents. The German Father Christmas, in contrast, has a long great coat with a rope as a girdle, brings presents, but also punishes naughty children, and can sometimes look very grim.
Straft schon auch mal die unartigen Kinder und muss nicht immer nur lächeln, sondern kann auch schon mal ziemlich grimmig reingucken. Für uns selbst, die wir hier arbeiten, ist es so, dass wir trotzdem noch...
For us who work here, it is still nice to celebrate Christmas, because it is different from working here to being at home with your family and friends. The love for Christmas is essential for the work here, and I think we all have it.
Liebe zu Weihnachten muss es alles immer begleiten, aber ich glaube, wir schaffen das hier ganz gut.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of visitors from all over the world come to the Nürnberger Christkindlmarkt, whose tradition reaches back many centuries. And whoever comes is welcome. What the people also will remember, besides the unforgettable impressions and the romantic spirit of Christmas Eve approaching, is the unique taste of the original Gerstacker Christkindlmarkt Glühwein, which today is as important an aspect of the Christkindlmarkt as is the gingerbread. Based upon an old family recipe, Gerstacker Christkindlmarkt Glühwein today is known all over the world. Since 1975, the mulled wine is sold under the brand name Christkindlmarkt Glühwein. Its level of awareness is due to its high quality, whose secret is based upon the use of only the best natural ingredients and a complex manufacturing process. Gerstacker completely abstains from synthetic flavors. Its unique taste is only enhanced by huckleberries. It all starts with the choice of spices. In addition to silent cinnamon, the finest cinnamon bark from Indonesia and China is also used. The strict quality control includes, next to an extensive visual and aroma inspection, as seen here with these Zanzibar cloves, of course an extensive laboratory analysis. There the exact concentration of the 12 spice components, for example cinnamon, star anise, cardamom, mace blossoms, and cloves, is measured. Therefore, Christkindlmarkt Glühwein always includes the same amount of spices. Here you see a machine which determines the exact content of essential oils. The content of ingredients is detected by a denisometer after a first extraction. Only ingredients approved by the laboratories reach the extraction. For optimum results in the extraction process, the ingredients are always freshly kibbled. Afterwards, the spices, huckleberries, and citrus fruit slices are combined according to the old family recipe, and then are put into the extraction container. Now, red wine is added, which will later be the base of the mulled wine. The extraction process itself lasts 12 hours, during which the spice mixture will remain in the wine. Now the spice extract is subtracted and pulled out of the extraction device. To make the most out of it, the spice mixture is finally squeezed. The Christkindlmarkt Glühwein is also improved with a special spice fermentation and citrus fruit slice distillates. A special distillate of bergamot slices is added in this copper distillation device. This distillate, with its typical taste, is a result of the high quality of the bitter orange pairings. The finished distillates and extractions are continuously controlled. Afterwards, the spice mixture can be added to the wine. The high quality of the wine is an important aspect of the Christkindlmarkt Glühwein's fame. It is a high-class Merlot from the Veneto in Italy, and is especially suitable for warming, and may also be enjoyed unseasoned. Cheers! As every good wine, the Christkindlmarkt Glühwein is filtered before it is bottled. In the bottling plant, up to 13,000 liters of mulled wine are filled into the famous green glass bottles. Beforehand, the bottles are thoroughly cleaned. This is done with hot water followed by very hot steam for sterilization. Afterwards, the Christkindlmarkt Glühwein is bottled under high pressure. Now a cap is put on top, which together with the shrinking foil also prevents the aroma from evaporating. Now only the label is missing before our Christkindlmarkt Glühwein can be boxed and prepared for shipping. In addition to the traditional green glass bottles, the mulled wine is also available in practical 10-liter wineskins. This so-called bag-in-box filling is mainly for large-scale customers and caterers at Christmas markets. The vacuum bottled wine stays fresh for a long time and can be easily prepared in the required serving without huge piles of empty bottles. Samples of the production are taken at regular intervals, tested and analyzed. In addition to taste and smell, the alcohol amount and further important data are retrieved. The results are archived with a number, which enables the company to come up with detailed information about the quality of any product at any time. The bottles are then packed into boxes and prepared for their shipment to Christmas markets all over the world. Though being closely connected with Christmas time, the mulled wine is a much enjoyed drink from September until March.